All right, this should be a quick one. Let's talk about this past week. Matthew McConaughey mentioned on Kelly Ripa's podcast that it's possible his good friend Woody Harrelson could be his half brother. Woody Harrelson's father, Charles Harrelson, was a convicted hitman with very violent tendencies towards Woody and his brothers. But apparently, McConaughey, why can't I say this dude's name? McConaughey indicated that his mom said she knew Charles, quote unquote, knew Charles well enough that both boys think that they had an affair. So Matthew and Woody have discussed possibly doing a DNA test, but Matthew is a little wary and feels he's got a lot to lose because he's concerned about finding out the man he's known all his life as his father may not be. I guess ignorance is bliss, right? So, but considering there's a decent possibility McConaughey and Harrelson are brothers, I'm curious how you guys would react if you found out your best friend was also your half brother or sister.
Aww. I would be excited.
You'd be excited?
Yeah. I would be excited. I mean, initially shocked, obviously, but I would be very happy. I don't care who dad, mom is. Like, my best friend is my sister. That's amazing. Like, I'm happy. I think in a way I would grow closer to my best friend if that's possible. But yeah, I would like it. I would definitely have questions for my parents, but I don't care.
Right?
So you'd have questions.
I'm the same way. No more bra hugs, more bro hugs. I would maybe, like McConaughey, that you have some apprehensions because, the person you considered your biological father. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's just biology. The person who was his father was his father. I mean, it just changes the biological makeup later on in life. I'd like to think that at his age, he's emotionally stable enough to handle that kind of stuff. If not, I'm sure that his friend, half-brother Woody, could help him relax. They're two guys that I know are like to chill, are pretty laid back. But, I'm with Johnny. I would be shocked. I would be excited. And it's kind of like, okay, so my besties, like my half-brother, we're solidifying this bond with actual blood. This is pretty cool because generally speaking, your best friend is, a brother or a sister that you choose, brother from another mother, sister from another mister, right? Mm-hmm. Exactly. So it would just be pretty awesome. Yeah.
Right, so you'd be a little upset with your parents, but you'd be all cool with it. I mean, actually, if you look, go ahead.
Yeah,
they do what they do.
So, I mean, if you look at the picture, they do resemble each other very much, actually. I mean, like they could be brothers, half brothers with different mothers. So, anyway, my best friends are already my brothers. To be honest with you, I love my biological brother to death, but my connection to my friends is so strong. Shoot, I wouldn't be surprised if we did share some DNA or something. But the truth is, like, just being family doesn't make a relationship. I always hear stuff like, blood is thicker than water and family's the most important. I'm like, blood doesn't matter. Every relationship needs to stand on its own. It's like, now we may tend to have like stronger relationships with family because in most cases we spent years with them nurturing relationships and things like that. And if it's positive, it's great. But, what if you've had a bad relationship? I mean, it's okay to just not be friends with that person. So but if I'm all about, if one of my brothers were my half brother, I don't even care about the affair or anything like that. I'm like, that's cool. Let's do it. But we're already brothers anyway, so it doesn't even matter. The DNA doesn't even matter to me in general.
What if it was somebody that wasn't your best friend? Like, what if it was just somebody you actually didn't like? That would be...
Now, that's a good question.
Yeah.
What if somebody your biggest enemy...
You just turn the dial down. It's just like, I was riding this high. That'd be so cool. And it's like, oh, God, if it was the turtle dirt bag. Really?
Wow. That would be rough. Well,
be interesting.
It goes back to me,
like Neil said, right?
I have some family members that I don't even talk to because I'm like, I don't even deal with them because they're crazy.
Same.
So
Same.
Yep.
Yeah. We all...
I got rid of crazy out of my life a long time ago. All All right. Some questions, some comments online. Mike Winter, already been there, done that. Matthew's book leads me to believe that he's fairly stable emotionally. Yeah, you would think he'd be okay with it, right? And he says,
Yeah, I would.
and he says, please don't tell all Murray Povich talking about they look alike.
I hope Murray comes out of retirement to do this. Come on, Murray, do this one last test for us. Do it for America.
Right? All right, and Jack and Rom says, even if the half sibling was conceived in a shady manner, that's not the person's fault. Totally agree with that. All right.
Agree.
Is this truth, lies, shenanigans?
This is some.
I want it to be true. I want it to be true.
I think it is.
I want it to be.
I think it is true.
I mean, his father is kind of like a infamous, but sure.
Yeah, his father's crazy. Yeah.
Shady character. The ladies like a bad boy. Just saying.